All right, back for part 2, and I see Lawrence has joined us. Lawrence, welcome aboard.
Thank you. Hey, a nice graphic, summer sprint.
Thank you. The speedy Tyreek Hill, I think that is. All right, so we're going to share this, share that, and we are back. So, since we left Lawrence, we've had a pick from Joe, who selected the New England linebackers with the final pick of the draft, and that brings Joe up, as we suspected, to average good on the 4-3, if our calculations are correct, and I think they are. So that brings us to a total, we think a final now, of 9 good runs, 8 good passes, number of good Ds out there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and well deserved, as the draft capital was spent there to get it. So makes sense to me. And before we get back into the teams, just to talk about some of the bigger issues in the draft. We talked a lot about. Michael mentioned, just was not that many strong offensive units that warranted spending first or second round picks, so people just sort of defaulted to going to defense. And I think that's pretty much what happened. But as I look at it, and I keep on coming back to this, I think there's two places people could have gone, the second and the third, that may have really changed their fortunes. That would have been Farrat, following Rob Johnson, Buffalo quarterback, somewhere in this second to third round, even into early fourth round range. And perhaps the selection of Stephen Davis earlier. But people were into chasing the good, and for good reason. I mean, it needs to get rewarded with it. One thing related to that, as we have Michael. Welcome aboard, Michael.
Hello.
Doing a retread on the good defenses, and the opportunities to get a Farrat or a Stephen Davis instead of some of the early defensive picks, second, third round. But you notice that nobody ends up with poor this year. No poors at all.
Yeah.
Now, I have not been here for every battle royale, so I don't know. But I think in my history, going back 3-4 years now, I don't think I've seen a draft go without a poor anywhere. Have you guys?
Agree.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm shocked. What about this? There's only 5 3-4 defenses?
Yeah, I did notice that.
Yeah,
Wow.
just 5-3-4s, 12-4-3s. There's one that's on the fence. The others seem pretty decisive. So as these were sort of sent out during the draft, if somebody sort of was in green here, that sort of meant it was in doubt. And then every once in a while it would switch over to white once it seemed pretty clear the direction they were going in. Just Dave is left. Dave could go average, 3-4. The 3-4 rating here. Go average if he'd like to. Dave is an interesting case. We'll get to that in a minute, but he could go either way. He'd lose a little pass rush if he goes 3-4, I think. Let's see, estimated pass rush of 49 in the 43, and then drops to 46. You see there in the 3-4. So he'll have a choice to make.
Is this Dave's first league with us?
As far as I know.
Okay. I'm average, either one, right? 3-4 or 4-3. I can play either. I
Yeah, I
think,
think
right?
that's right. We can check it here and at least get this view on it.
Yeah, be lower, I think, for the
Yeah,
yeah.
you'd gain some pass rush.
Yeah.
At least based on starters and that sort of thing. I don't know about your bench and stuff, but
Right.
you pick up 3 points in pass rush. Right now, you sit in last place in pass rush.
Oh, because I only have the 3 guys in the 3-4.
I
It's
don't know.
calculating on
It's
24.
all 7 guys are in that calculation.
Oh, 7 guys. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah, the linebackers. I got you. Yeah, I have weak pass rush linebackers.
So you can move to the 16th. Tied for with Aiden. If you went the other way, but I assumed you wanted 3-4.
Yeah. Yes, I like that defense. More flexible. There's pluses and minuses to both, obviously.
Yes. I mean, there's so many, right? There's so many back and forths, but I mean, just getting that linebacker coverage. If your linebacker is good, to cover linebacker and off tackle in one swoop is a big deal.
Yeah, there's a Zeb Strong is somebody that is super with 3-4 defenses. I kind of watch him a little bit and try to watch him play with it and see if I can pick up any pointers. He's somebody that's really good with 3-4 defense.
A couple other big things in the draft. Let's just talk about the 3 guys out there. Deion Sanders was one, Woodson was another, Aaron Glenn was the third, right?
Yeah.
Where you could do something special with him. So we had first one, of course, was Dallas, and I think that was relying on the rating sheets. I think he chose his DBs based on a flipped corner situation, and did not end up getting good with Deion.
Was that the final outcome?
Yeah. So there was that. Then
Tyke, Oakland wide receivers.
Tyke and Oakland wide receivers, yeah, to pick up Woodson. And he went with Washington, which gave him, I think, just +1.
Yeah, you're Washington. 5-4, 5-3.
Why didn't he go with Minnesota?
I don't think Minnesota.
I mean,
I
which
think Minnesota
one
was one of those flipped ones. So when you got the automated, you'd see. So Woodson is a left, right? Yeah, Woodson's a left cornerback. Minnesota. Yeah, Minnesota has a 4. Yeah, at left.
Yeah, he's good. They got a 3 actually. Right.
He didn't want the 0.
Yeah, he has a 0 at free safety, I believe. I don't know if he picked up another 4 DB somewhere.
Not that I'm aware of.
Washington has a 0 free safety. Oh, let's just double.
Who did he go with? He went with Washington, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he traded a 3 free safety instead of a 3 right corner, but would have more total points with Minnesota, to Lawrence's point. So, that's something, that's, I think, an underrated part of the game is, what to do with free safeties. I don't mind a 3 free safety if I'm going to blitz him a lot. He has no coverage responsibilities unless you force the issue against a nickel. So, you use them to double so much anyway. When you're using them to double, and Tyke likes to double a lot, you're doubling free safety. Obviously, it doesn't matter what his rating is.
Right. Is he typically high on the double team chart? I don't know.
Yeah, he finished up. I don't know if I have any of the old
Battle
Royale sheets with me here. I don't think I do, but he was up toward the top of the league in doubling last season.
Oh,
I think part of that,
I can look it up.
Yeah, part of that was a function, I think, of his defensive back setup. as it often is, right? If you have a 6 and then you have other weak guys, you tend to double a lot. But if that is a trend, if he does just like the double, then not a bad idea to go with three free safety.
Yeah, 567.
And the other
Divided
bit
by
that you
7.
get is you get a 5 nickel cornerback.
Yeah, right. He gets the
With
5
Washington.
nickel.
Yeah. Right, Lawrence? I mean, what do you think about that? When you think about it that way, does that convince you at all a little bit to move to Washington?
Yeah, that seems reasonable. Like to say the 5 nickels is pretty valuable.
Mm-hmm. And I think he'll have the only 5 nickel. Maybe Dave has it too, because Dave goes with Miami DBs and Dallas. So Miami, he's going to end up a 6 nickel in Deion Sanders.
Right.
So that's a nice little shutdown bit right there to consider. And
yeah, you won't be throwing to the third wideout.
Right. And tell me a bit about the rules of Summer Sprint, if you guys know. If let's say that Dave ended up picking a defense with a 4 right cornerback, right? But could he move his corners around and make
No.
the 6 cover the nickel if he wants to, since they're both rated right
hold on,
cornerback?
Yeah, let me see.
Yeah, so as long as it's the right corner in the right corner, you could, yeah.
Yeah. Which, depending on who you're facing and what it looks like, you sometimes might want to do that. Sometimes
it's just you can't. I mean, obviously, when you can't even swap a flanker and a split end, those are not interchangeable. So, like, nothing's interchangeable. It has to be either it is it or it's not.
Right, and in that case, he'd have a dupe of right cornerback. 2 guys rated at right cornerback, which generally is only 1 per team, but he'd have 2 in that case. And, why would you do that? Well, you do that maybe toward the half if you're not fearing the flat pass, but you want to drop that 6 safety into the 6 corner into the long pass zone. That would be, you could free him up to do that if he becomes your first defensive back, right? Drop back.
We have the 2-point conversion, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I hope so. That's one of the reasons why I accepted a kicker with a missed extra point.
Yeah, I have a 34 kicker on extra points.
Same. I was thinking the same thing about maybe going for 2 here and there.
Now, on the point of all these guys, I haven't done it, and maybe you guys have it off the top of your head. Was Greg in a position to do something special at the turn? See, to me, this is where, and I think I was back here once, and this is the one time that I actually did last Summer Sprint, where I took a unit to really move things around. It was the New Orleans safety unit with Gil Fenerty and as a returner. No, Gil Fenerty as a returner, and picked up a safety, and I did all sorts of swaps because I could go back to back. Like, nobody could steal it from me, right? When you go 17-18 like Greg is going. Did Greg have a chance to do something with Woodson? Best DB unit out there might have been Philly at that point. So he was looking for, because to me that's the opportunity there. Doesn't mean you have to do it, by the way, but I'm really opportunistic at 16 or 17 about trying to pull something off versus having to wait a lot of picks to try to pull together a unit like that. Piecing it together, if you follow me.
Yeah. I think one of the nice things about pulling a unit like that is then you can kind of drop the DB unit down further, that kind of no one's looking at the 3 at that position even to take it.
Yeah.
So that defers, then you're looking at a 6th or 7th round DB pick, and you're, say you targeted good.
Mm-hmm.
Good pass D. And so that's what I think one of the nice things about it is you can wait on that DB group that no one's really got their eye on because now you need it. I did it one year, and that's basically there were 2 3s in the group that I needed. Like say I had a left cornerback 6, and so I basically looked at 2 3s, and then once one of the 3 cornerback teams were picked, I picked the next one,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how I kind of did it. And it was a very late pick to get good pass D.
Like maybe he could have gone Arizona, for example, gone 6-6.
Right. That's beautiful.
Right.
See 6-6-4-4.
Right.
But that's what 17. I think
Welcome,
17s were picked.
Hello.
That Arizona was certainly there, and that would be a pretty early pick. Like, he could probably wait on Arizona, right? So you could have gone, and oh, by the way,
Yeah, you picked Arizona. What round was that? Must have been very late, right? 8 or 9?
Yeah. Might have been my last pick. It was my last pick.
All right, yeah.
So, Deion Sanders, that would have been a good match for Deion at the right cornerback spot.
Right.
Right. And then Dennis with the Jets. I'm not sure where's Glenn. Glenn's left cornerback. I like these names in here now. That's cool. So Glenn was not a match. So the match would have to be a week. OAA. Okay. Oh, no. Yeah. Woodson. No, not Woodson. Not Woodson. Okay. So Woodson, you need a 3 there. So something like Dallas, right?
Yeah, Dallas.
6-6-5-4. Yeah. Was Dallas gone yet? I don't think so, right? Dallas DBs. Did Dallas DBs even go? They probably didn't go because Deion got stripped from them. So
yeah, there's no way they got picked.
Right. So you go Woodson, Dallas there.
Right.
And then you've got 12. So you got 21 with 2 6 corners.
Oh, but Deion was gone from Dallas, so that 6 corner was gone.
No, he was gone here. He was going out at.
Oh, so you're saying Dave take Dallas and then Dallas?
Greg
Greg
would have gone. Look, there's plenty of reasons not to. We're not saying Greg should have done this. I'm just curious what his options were, and that he could have gone Dallas and Woodson right here.
Oh, I get it. Okay, yeah. Right.
Yeah, I was wondering, is there if that was a chance for him to maybe get the excellent pass D down the road?
Exactly.
Was there any team that had a 6-6 strong safety, free safety, or 5-6? I imagine a 5-6 at least.
He probably could not have done excellent though, because that would just bring him to 21. He did that, by the way. But
if he got if there was a DB unit that had a 6 strong safety and free safety, and he picked up the left corner and right corner, there were 6s. If he's able to get that DB on the way back, if there was a unit that happened to fit that.
There were 6 5s. I'm looking at it right now. There was a 6-5, but the problem is it was Tennessee. There was one 6-5. Yeah, it was Tennessee, and they were obviously the top pick. And there were no other 6-5s at safety.
And no other 11s at safety, right? Yeah.
No other 11s. There's some 10s, but not 11s. Actually, are there even any 10s? Yeah, Kansas City, but they were a high pick also. Jacksonville was a high pick. They were 10.
San Fran, Baltimore was 10.
Yeah. Oh, Minnesota.
Jacksonville 10.
Minnesota was 10. They were a low 17. 10. Yeah.
So in that case, if you go 10, again, you're getting to 21. Every time you're getting to 21. So you need to find 9 points out of a pass out of the linebacker spot. You need to find 9. And were there any 9s out there? Not many, right? 1? Any?
9s at safety and free safety?
8.5 no linebacker to get to 30. The only pathway to 30 looks like was Tennessee. Because there's no 9s.
Right.
So, from Greg's point of view, you may not want to invest that much draft capital if you don't get excellent, because you've really sold out for your DBs taking your 2 picks there.
Do you know if Tyke was all locked in on taking Woodson when he did? Because if he didn't, there was a chance that it might have slipped down to Joe for that excellent pass D.
Right. Totally. Could have. I think, I don't know. I don't know where I did not talk to Tyke about that. Maybe he can chime in the comments what his thoughts on that pick were and what his strategy was. Because, I mean, did it go to plan with Washington, or did it not go to plan? Was his thought, okay, I'm going to take it here and then wait to the end? Because, I mean, overall, I don't know that that's worth it. Right?
Yeah, I didn't like the Oakland wide receivers that much. I mean, they're not terrible, I guess, but they're not a big draw, really.
Right.
You must think that didn't go quite to plan, because if you're going to spend that there, you need to get good.
Right.
Right. Came back with the Tennessee halfbacks. I mean, at that point, it was New England was the last one off the board, DBs. So after that was Miami. So Miami, then Green Bay, then the Giants. Let's see. You're matching up a left cornerback, Miami, Green Bay, or the Giants.
Minnesota.
Does that get you to 27? Minnesota gets you to 27?
Minnesota is 20.
Depending on who you're, yeah, okay, 20, yeah. There's lots of ways to get 7 out there. But they might have been gone too. I mean, not that many ways, but ways. So if you put Minnesota, let's do this. Just go over to this guy. No, let's go. I do not like this right now. Okay, like this, and then I'm going to go Minnesota DBs, and we're going to type in.
They didn't even get picked.
Oakland. So 6. So see that. Okay, here. So 6. That gives them 19. Not 20.
Oh, I think. Oh, you know what? Yeah. All right.
Miami. How about Miami? Miami would have given 2 6s. He would have been to 20. Okay. So let's take a look at Miami 3-4 pass. That away. Matched up with Miami now with 20. You've got 21 chances for average, 10 chances for good. So you need, you're going to have to spend something on linebacker.
Right. Yeah, I ended up taking Miami. Roll around though.
And if you spend on linebacker, I mean, linebackers are flying. So
yeah,
that may not have been a chance. Let's see. The 10th was gone by pick 43. So, his pick here in the 3rd round was pick 39. So maybe right there. Right? 39, 34. Yeah, 30. Let's pick 40.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's coming back to me. Where Jacksonville and Miami got picked, right?
So he could have, from a linebacker.
He would have had a pass on Tennessee halfback, though, right?
Correct. He could have gone with Jacksonville or Miami linebackers. If you match up with Miami 6 with Jacksonville or Jacks give you good, Jacks gives you 27 good. So you could have got good there. You could have got good with Miami. So just purely decided not to.
Right.
In that case. Which, by the way, Tyke, I'm not in disagreement with you here. I mean, I don't know that you need good as much as you might in other sets, but it was right there for the taking if you wanted it. And it was right there for the taking for me, too. I mean, for what it's worth. I mean, I could have got good right here with the Pittsburgh linebackers, and I chose not to. On purpose. So,
Right.
It's the choices we make. But Greg's choice, I think, is most interesting out here. With the things he could have done, and I think he made the right choice. If he had no chance of getting excellent, there's 1,000 different ways of getting good if you wanted it, and he ended up good anyway, right? So why spend all that draft capital for good if you can get good anyway by going DBs and then linebackers all the way down the fourth? And let's just talk a little bit, shifting over to quarterbacks. And Bob, you're with us.
Oh, hi,
Are
Bob.
you there? Can you hear us, Bob? Bob was with us. It'd be great if Bob was still here. Oh, Bob dropped off. He took Brad Johnson. I'd love to hear more about that. But, this is you saw Brunell go ahead of Farad, for example. And, oh, by the way, they're right next to each other. It's not like, Jacksonville's a bad pick. And in Jacksonville, you pick up 2 quarterbacks. You get Brunell, and you get a pretty good second guy who's down here somewhere.
Jay Fiedler.
Yeah, Jay Fiedler. Where the heck did he go? I didn't think he was
24.
Thank you. Fiedler. No, I don't see. Oh, yeah, 2022. Right. So he's picking up. Let me freeze some panes here. Window, freeze panes. He's picking up 4th best flat passer with Brunell.
Really?
With Fiedler. Yep.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say.
Fiedler's are 4. Brunell is 6th in short. Well, Fiedler's 26th in short. And then 11th long. So you got a flat pass specialist is what you got working there. With Fiedler, when you want flat passing. So, you can make the case that that's a better pick if you want. This is a case to make over Farad. There you go. There's Brunell with his short and long. Middle of the road picks, nothing obscene. Some, decent completions for this set. His must run is kind of, it's kind of a short pass that's a little bit Rob Johnson-ish, you could say. In many, many ways, because he also gets
6-yard average is pretty good.
Yeah. Runs around the end a little bit. Not many end run carries out there. Just
thank God. Randall Cunningham took me out of the 1990 playoffs.
I believe it. And there you see Fiedler with a completion on his interception right. So a couple guys have that. Jim Miller, I think, has it. A couple guys have that, and he's got it there. So it's a pretty good duo, And then after that, you got Gannon, and it starts getting seriously difficult. You get 4.16. You see the drop there from Brunell and Gannon at 4.4 yards expected yards, and it goes down. I mean, Miller, if you take the fumble out, it's at 4.44. He's hanging right there with those guys in the mid-4s. And so is Berline. But you see that right there. That's without fumble, excluding fumble. But it gets problematic on here. You went George and Cunningham. I mean, that's the thing about it. The duos can charge up these guys. Right, and you're getting a good duo like you are, 15th and 28th. That how does that vault them into these, into the top 10 or up with this class of guys? Any QBs that you were surprised weren't taken? I don't think so, right?
No, I think there were a bunch that mid-pack, like if I didn't get one early, that I think would have been serviceable, so.
Garcia was taken, right?
Yeah, I believe late. Hold on, let me see. Garcia, yeah, Jason took him.
So the highest rated guy not taken was 19 because of the, double QBs. Bledsoe.
Right.
And it's right that for him to be left off the board, as far as I was concerned. Very spotty card. 30th short pass, 26th flat. Oof. And he really only does any damage deep. Tough to live that way.
Yeah, he's got a pick on 9. Deep.
Yeah. And it's not like Tom Tupa brings you anything.
and John Freeze.
What year was Cordell rated QB wide receiver ever?
I don't
Cordell
know.
Stewart
Let's see.
in the 90s? He wasn't here, of course.
Yeah, he was a QB this season.
Yeah, just QB only,
Just QB.
and not a good one.
Oh.
On it, down at
Oh, not well. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, you can't deal with 5 completions on the short pass, right? I think
All
this
right.
team knocked the Patriots out of the playoffs 7-6 with Cordell.
You noticed the NFL Network tonight had 86 AFC Championship on?
Oh no! So it was
Yeah.
Denver, Cleveland.
Yeah, Denver, Cleveland. Really good. Really good. It's still on. No, there it is. Yeah, it's still on. Elway going deep. To flip that on in the background. The first play, Steve Watson made a catch and he was headhunted. I forget who was doing it. But man, it would have been like an on-field arrest today. Like,
Right.
the police would have
Yeah.
showed up.
I know. I know. Remember when Don Beebe got tossed on his head? He bounced off the ground at Cleveland. I don't know what year that was.
It's
But
the
yeah.
drive right now. 20-13 is the score. Yeah, a minute 52 left in the fourth as we speak. So they're in the midst of the drive. All right. So back to business here. We left off, I think, on Aiden, and Aiden is one of the teams that I really like. Missing pass rush, but good with Farrat and Waters is a good combination. One of the best balanced teams out there. Pike goes offense. I mean, against the grain all the way. Offense. Sure, offense. Special team. Let's call that offense. Doesn't get to his D until round 7.
I know. That's one thing I love about these drafts is everybody has a different way to slice it. And I like that. I like everyone using different strategies.
Absolutely. Ends up with St. Louis and Tennessee. So great battery there, as he should have. But, wide receivers, and I think he picked somebody up with Seattle, right? Joey Galloway.
Oh, he did.
But yes, you got that deep threat there.
Yep.
Oh, so he's going to have Galloway and Moss.
I didn't spend much time on the Oakland guys. So you got Tim
Galloway,
Brown, I think, is
Tim
your
Brown,
big one, right?
Yeah.
And then Jet or something.
No long gains out of Brown, but maxed out in a couple spots. So that's great. And then James Jett, yeah. James Jett, not the James Jett that we're seeing with yards everywhere.
Right.
That's pretty rough. Is that number 2? So that means Galloway's got to elevate, or is there somebody else? What's Woodson with his 19 average? What's he look like? Not so good. So it's a little bit troublesome there. Looks like just 2 guys. As tight end is Denver. And the Denver tight ends, what are you getting there?
Yeah, that's what that was the group I wanted. He's got a really good Shannon Sharp, Dwayne Coswell, Byron Chamberlain. Somebody can go deep. I don't know which one. But I was looking at that group. And also Howard Griffith can run the ball.
A good group.
In a 6'7" fullback.
Yeah. Nobody long, though.
Oh, okay.
So that's interesting. I mean, when he needs to go deep, unless I'm missing something, guys, he's got Warner. But 2 guys, Tim Brown and Joey Galloway, are the only ones with any meaningful long pass completions. Is that correct?
Yeah, probably. 15 on Galloway, though. So that's the 41%.
But on those 3rd and longs, you're inviting some double team action. Sure. I mean, you're not going to fear the 0 men too much in those receiver readings for everybody else. Offensive line of St. Louis is solid.
The Byron Chamberlain card he's got a long gain on 2.
2 of what level
Short pass.
Mhm.
Right.
for Denver tight ends?
Yeah. And Sharp has 19 completion short pass, right?
It's a good set of flat and short guys, no doubt
Yeah.
about it. But it's
Yeah.
like, you know, he needs Carolina, or with that Warner card. I'm saying just to maximize Warner,
Right. Right.
or somebody like that, or St. Louis for that matter. And wound up at
Tykes had good QBs. He had Prescott, ran him deep to the title, I think, in BR, right?
he had
In,
Herbert.
Herbert, right. All right, yeah. So
He wrote his defense. That was the defensive team. It was
Yeah.
a very, very good defensive team.
right.
But made hay with the Green Bay halfbacks and the Chargers quarterback. And Herbert's okay. He's not Herbert like he's not even Herbert of last year.
Right.
I think it was Herbert's rookie card, wasn't it? But and then pass rush, 10th in pass block, 15th in pass rush, average. So Tyke's got to find a way to get the balls to these receivers, and maybe it's Eddie George. Eddie George is going to be key, and it's not a bad guy to rely on. We already covered me. We'll go to Brian. Brian has those Jacksonville quarterbacks we talked about. And I like those Oakland halfbacks at this. I thought this was a very good pick. Speaking of good value picks, just 40 picks after Minnesota, getting Tyrone Wheatley.
Kaufman.
And Kaufman, yep, around the end. So Wheatley is your 242 carries. That's nice and respectable. And look at that off tackle. Go work with that. At pick 140.
Right.
Low fumbles, as I recall. Maybe not min, but low. And
1.24.
Yeah. +4 off tackle right, +5 off tackle right on 6 and 8. Gets a couple more chances there.
Yeah, he is good, right? Yeah, you're right. That is an excellent running back pick.
And then there's
home run hitter in Kaufman.
Yep. He's your man at the end of the half.
Right. Yeah, that is a good group for that late. That is a great value pick.
Yep. I did not expect them to go that low. Really didn't. Right here, Oakland. I mean, behind Carolina. I mean, Yakavatuka has a nice running card, but man, he can't hold on to the ball. And then we've talked about Dallas to death. But I mean, everybody, Philadelphia, they're strong enough. Cincinnati's certainly strong enough. Indianapolis, another question mark. And I really want to dig into that more because maybe I was missing something. I did not have Edge being drafted at 9th, so I easily could have missed something. Well, I guess we'll come to that in a second. But sticking with Brian, going to work those Oakland halfbacks with those 2 Jacksonville quarterbacks. The last wide receivers taken in Arizona. He has good. Yeah, he better. Good is correct. Not much pass rush to go with it, though. 12th in league in pass rush. Cincinnati special teams, though. There's an interesting one. What were your thoughts around Cincinnati, guys? Were you guys willing to stretch for this team? Were you thinking about it, or did you not? Because they didn't really bring anything else with it except the 4 punt return touchdown. Was that enough for you to consider him mid-rounds? Like he took him in the 5th?
No, I wasn't going to step out on that limb. I mean, I screwed up my draft enough in the first round, having to take the San Francisco fullback. So I wasn't in any position.
Lawrence, were you thinking about him, or were you other direction entirely?
Yeah, I just felt like I had other more important priorities, really. Like I really wanted, at the 5th round, I really wanted that New Orleans DL because, just a pass rush from every position,
Mm-hmm.
I was afraid that Mike might even grab him because I know he likes some of that kind of a pass rush on the defensive line.
Yeah, you're right. The New Orleans and Jacksonville, they were similar. I think you had a 12-10. The other was 11-9. So I was kind of looking at that, going, well, when New Orleans goes, then I'll take Jacksonville.
Yeah, because New Orleans, like I said, the rating initially showed an 8 on the edge, but actually there's a 10 on the edge
10,
also.
right?
So
Yeah,
it's a 0, 10, 7, a 7, and a 12, and then a 4, 9. In the middle, it's 5 7s for a 4 3, so it's pretty good.
yeah, yeah.
Well-
I also was looking at the Seattle defensive line. They were 4-5-6-4 against the run. So up the middle, you were going to have a 5-6 at D tackle, and that's tough to run against. Meaning, you're either going to hit the 5 or you're going to hit the 6.
Yep.
How many times you get 0 left tackle or 13? 5 left tackle or 36, and all those are basically 1 out of 6 is going to get through there. But the one tough thing is, when you have 4 DNs, those are the ones where you give up the 47-yard runs. You know what I mean? When you have the 4s out there and the 0s at the end,
Yep.
it makes me a little nervous. I know you're going to have a 0, Lawrence, but I'm sure you'll be plugging a little bit more of that 0, so it's not going to be so easy to run out there. But those kind of scare me a little bit.
I had 2 6 ends in Battle Royale. I forget who they were, but man, did they pay off. Wow.
Yeah, I remember running at them a couple times.
Yeah, it's a great luxury that I don't have this time, that's for sure. I don't know that anybody has 2 6 ends this time.
But
Yeah.
what I like about that DL, though, even though I have to worry about the run a little bit, like even if I have a 3 free safety covering, at least it's still 1 person there instead of 0. But with that line, though, I really don't have to move my 3-5 LBs around. I don't have to worry about blitzing them if I don't want to. You know what I mean? I can be really judicious about how I use them.
Right. Yeah, that is nice.
Well, I did consider Cincinnati right here, just before Brian took him. I was calculating furiously what I would end up at O-line if I did take them. If it wasn't going to be a steep drop, then I was going to take them right there and just swap these 2 picks. But what yanked me away from it really was, I thought I'd get a pretty big downgrade in O-line. But also, Detroit was just a better fit for my squad because I needed that 4 right cornerback. And they have great returners. It's just a better fit if you need the corner. So I stayed away. And Brian took him, and we're all going to have to deal with that. So, it's going to be interesting to see what Brian yields in terms of coffin corners and what it means for his field position, if it means something significant as we go. End up with the Jets O-line, which was 4th from the bottom. And when it's all said and done, Brian has a pass block problem and a pass rush problem, but is good with Jacksonville and I think an underrated halfback squad with so not a bad spot to be.
Yeah.
When you're good, you can feel comfortable that you can stay in any game. And you just got to find a way to score, and that's. Can he find a way to score? Yeah, he can find a way to score with these 2. Yep, with Jacksonville and Oakland. Bob goes Brad Johnson, best quarterback in the game, pairs him with the Dallas offensive line. Could have taken Indianapolis, did not here. Indianapolis does not bring the run blocking that Dallas brings. Made that choice. I wish we still had Bob with us. Not that that's a strange choice, but just I think it's a perfectly fine choice, Dallas. But just wanted to hear his thoughts around, protecting Johnson versus getting some run blocking. And pairs it with Dallas. So there's your Emmett situation. Bob. Who could he have taken? He could have taken Seattle, could have taken Minnesota, could have taken Oakland. Those are the 3 that I would have probably jumped on over Dallas if it was me. But as we talked about, Michael, you pencil out that Emmett card. It's not a bad card.
Yeah. Jacksonville linebackers, he got a 12 star 6. Hold on, let me see what it is. 12 star 4 outside linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's kind of some pretty good pass rush there.
I meant on a standalone basis. If you're just looking at the very top backs, could that be right? 4? No, it can't be right. Doing something funny here. Or did I trust that? As a team, yeah. Why are they showing us the 4th best? Is that correct? Dallas is the 4th. Yeah, I have Dallas is 4th best halfbacks. I mean, they pencil out great, not just good, great. How is that? Well, let's take a look.
Is there a second back in there we haven't looked at?
Yeah, maybe.
What do you say? Chris Warren. Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's not bad.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a nice full house, that's for sure, right? I mean, you've got two. Not many teams have 2 good guest right runners in their full house, so that's good. That's a nice little boost, for sure.
Yeah, Chris Warren has 4.0 fumble.
Mhm.
But the other running back, oh no, I'm sorry, that's it. Yeah, right. It's just Emmett and Warren.
So I'm trying to see where he really beats the rest.
43 runs.
Just a little bit below in linebook wrong, just a little bit off and off tackle wrong because of those big chunky runs. End run wrong, a little bit better than everybody else. Right running, quite good. Quite good. 54 versus an average of 37. Fumbles a little bit better. They can block, apparently. Nothing really gained in terms of receiving, but also brings a lot of carries. So, it's still, would I have taken him there? I probably not, but bottom line is the numbers are not so bad at all.
No.
For Dallas, and matching it with the Carolina tight end, that's a good pass catcher right there. And the Indianapolis wide receivers, Marvin Harrison and company, is who he's throwing to. So you've got one of the better tight ends in the game, one of the better wide receivers in the game. And a defense that ended up average, however. Interesting squad.
Yeah.
I believe in Brad Johnson, and Brad Johnson could just carry the team. I mean, it reminds me of some of your teams, Michael. I mean, with these 2 quarterbacks here, Washington, Indianapolis. I mean, if nobody else can really move the ball, you've got these 2 guys with the right receivers. You can just outscore people. You score 20 points, you win.
Yeah, he's got Harrison too. That Harrison card is very scary. Obviously, one of the best cards in the set overall.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I don't know who's going to have second wide receiver, but that's okay when you got Harrison.
I think it is and it isn't, because if I'm playing a team that has like Harrison, I don't think he has that great of other receivers, but I'm just double team Harrison all the time, make him beat me with the other guys.
Right.
Wilkins is so-so. I mean, he's not bad. Wilkins is not bad, but you've seen much better.
Yeah, check his punt return or kickoff return. I think actually he's decent in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 2 TDs. Yeah.
And then who's his other receiver? Let's see. It's got to be. There's nobody else rated. I guess it's Terrence Wilkins. Yeah. Everybody else is rated as a 3rd with 2 positions. You see these guys here. See E.G. Green with his 13.7 average. Okay. I mean, again, below par, but not bad. I always like a 3rd wide receiver with a long gain flat pass wrong. Something I look for. Because he has a chance to be guessed wrong in a nickel if somebody drops back.
Right. Yeah, he's got an 11 there. I mean, a 3.
Anything else on Bob?
No, good solid team, and he's good, right?
No, average.
Average. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, that's right. He went offense early there, first 2 picks.
Score 20 points, Bob, and you can get it done with this team. Not many will hang. Nick goes Indianapolis, makes a ton of sense here. Probably one of the better value picks in the draft. To get the last of those three is where you want to be. I mean, if Tyke would have taken Pittsburgh linebackers here, and he was between St. Louis quarterbacks and Pittsburgh linebackers, just based on our conversations, I know that. I probably would have taken Brad Johnson. I wouldn't have loved it because I didn't want to be the first one out. I would just really it would just stew on me that somebody like Nick would be 3 picks ahead of me with somebody who's practically as good. With Manning, I put Nick in a good spot immediately. While we're here in Indianapolis, let's take a look at Peyton's card. Love it. Picks a little elevated. Not the end of the world, though. All 3 levels.
Yeah.
It's got that must run that's kind of annoying, actually. But because it drops down pretty quickly here.
Right.
He's going to pick up a bunch of sacks that he didn't deserve. With
right.
the must run being as prominent as it is on 5. But obviously a pretty sweet card. So pairing Indianapolis with Deuce Staley and company out of Philly. Deuce had a nice year that year for a bad team. There's Deuce Staley, Cascade yardage, nice right running. It's not going to get you any major pop. I mean, his best pop is right here, plus 26 on end run 10. And it's not that bad of an end run right column. Got -3 for shredded 5 hurts, but not so bad. So you can run that end run. He's got plenty of carries, 325 carries.
Yeah, he's got 30 carries, but for fatigue, and Bieniemy has 10. And Bieniemy serviceable, 6.5 average end run wrong, and 0 fumbles for Bieniemy, 1.5 on Deuce.
Yep. I mean, he's another guy, Deuce, that you think should be able to go deep, just in my mind. Deuce in his prime.
Yeah, he was a good pass catching back. You're right.
It was, that year with Peterson and McNabb as a rookie, as I recall from that team, it was, because I'm a Syracuse guy, so I followed it closely, McNabb's rookie year. It was either run it to Deuce or flat pass it. It was the Deuce game. Or
dumping
fake
off
it to
the
Deuce.
Yeah.
It was all around play action to do. It was the whole offense revolved around this guy.
Yeah. 41 catches along with the 325 runs. This is the type of season a running back has, and they're never the same again. One of those.
Now he pairs with it I think I had rated the best tight end group, Buffalo, and he got him down at 4th overall. Why did I have him rated so high? Let's take a look. Again, this was just a guide, and I was never really seriously considering tight ends because of my receiver situation. But you got a 20% long pass catcher, Ramirsma, which is the max for the set, just a couple of them out there. And it brings with him a 6'7" fullback.
Right.
So that's a nice little pair. Linton gives you carries, but nothing special. I don't think are you running Linton even at the goal line? Is there anything? I don't think so, right? Yeah, nothing. Well, linebuck right is not bad.
Yeah,
so first
his off tackle. His off tackle's 4.5 wrong.
Yeah.
205 runs for him? Wow.
First and goal at the 1, though, I don't mind 0,
Right.
So those zeros don't bother me.
Yeah.
At all.
So he's only got a
couple chances.
Hurt.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Only a couple chances at -1. So he's useful at the goal line. But really why you're taking this group is the pairing of Ramirsma with a 6'7".
Right.
The other 20%ers, I don't know if anybody else had that. So McGee,
the other one that stuck out at tight end was Wesley Walls. He also has the 20, and he's maxed out flat and short. He doesn't bring the 6'7" fullback, but William Floyd is a 5'5".
Yeah.
So I personally would give up the 6-7 for the 8
Extra
for the
catches.
maxed out flat and short. But
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, he's going to go so high that unless you make it a point to grab that group, you're not going to get it.
Such a difference between a 5 and a 7 pass blocker, though. That's shut down.
Yeah, but we're not dealing with a ton of star 12s like we were.
You're
in
not, but you're dealing with
1990.
safety blitzing. You're dealing with safety blitzing.
Oh, the safety blitzing. Yeah, that's just a 10 though. That's not that bad.
Really?
I don't think guys are going to be safety blitzing, not in this league.
I mean, let's see.
Except down at the goal line. But I'm saying, if first and 10,
So,
they're not going to be blitzing
28.
50.
So short pass 26% versus 42, or 46 on the long versus 28. That's what you're buying there. It's pretty significant. When you see that pass rush chart and you see 46, I'm concerned. When I see 28, not so concerned.
Yeah, I mean, that's 1 out of 6 difference.
I never hit him anyway, so
Right.
Everyone says that. I lead the league in sacks. I still say that. So back to
How many times are you going to hit that receiver card and then miss?
Right.
When you had Walls maxed out.
Right. He's got Nick is running a average as well. So these guys with the top 3 quarterbacks, all 3 of them guys ended up average. Pike, Nick, and Bob.
Yeah, and then me too. I took the 4th QB.
These guys are sort of in a class of their own, right? And
yeah, I'd say that.
And they all ended average, which is for the rest of the league's sake a good thing. Ron, known for his defense and defensive picks, goes Buffalo DBs to start, which was the 3rd group, a 20 group, and then goes OL. So nothing flashy going on here for a while. Goes to Olandis Gary and Denver, which I viewed as a very solid group. Here's Gary. A long gain on 11.
Yeah,
nice.
That's awful chunky.
Mm-hmm. Your guess wrong running mid 6, 7, 8s is
a
little bit difficult.
This is the guy you just got to keep running him.
Well, you run him line buck. Lots of line buck.
Right? But even that is
yeah, you're just hoping for the short gain.
Yeah, I'd rather just run the off tackle there, try to hit this long gain of
the long gain 11.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
bring it all home.
Yeah. Yeah.
71 there too.
You get the short gain in 10. Yeah, you get the short gain in 10. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and then 3, you get 22.
Yeah. Right. You're right. Totally right.
So you got 8 that's 8 chances. So that's equivalent to having a short gain on 7 and some big numbers on 2 and 12.
Can't catch much. You can always throw to your guys short anyway, though. That's something always to remember. I forget that sometimes. I see the short pass blank. I forget you can still throw short. You can't throw long, but you can throw short.
Yeah, I'll never forget one time I was playing Mike Payne in a Super Bowl or some big, huge game, and I was at the goal line, and he was known for a lot of double teams, and I had a receiver in the backfield who had never caught a pass. And so I said, I'm going to throw short to this guy. I go, he'll never double team him. And he double teamed him. I'm going, what a dope you are, Mike. Double teaming the guy with no catches. He goes, hey, it worked.
Well, he's pairing him with Rich Gannon, who's sort of in that 3rd-ish tier. You see this must run, one of the better ones out there.
Yeah, nice run card, too.
Hey, Mike, I was trying to get Mike Payne to go get back into our leagues, but he doesn't like doing draft leagues.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, you're right. You know what? Now that I think about it, he was only in stock leagues with me.
But he's really good, although I beat him today playing a 69 Cowboys against Browns. I beat his beloved Browns, so he was like a little bit out of shape.
Are you in a league, or that was just a little game you guys
played? We just play on the side, different little playoff years, and then he takes somebody. I always have preference of 49ers. He has preference of Browns, and then otherwise
that's cool.
he picks
Tell him
AFC
I said
and
hi.
I pick NFC. I will.
Yeah. I know. I miss him. I wish he would get back in our replay league. He was in there for about 20 years.
Yeah, you should reach out to him.
Yeah, maybe I will. I know. He'll say, "Is Cleveland open?"
With Gannon, you get spottiness. When you get down here, you get
Yeah.
spottiness. That's a nice short pass right column. So you're sort of living off that. I imagine that short pass column is ranked pretty highly. Let's see here.
Yeah. Gannon is well balanced. I remember looking at his card. It's not a great flat. It's not a great short. It's not a great long, but he's well balanced, and he was a running quarterback. When he played.
Yes.
I'll give you a
Third best short
dollar.
pass.
Give you a
Third best.
dollar if it can tell you what team drafted Rich Gannon.
Minnesota Vikings.
The New England Patriots.
Ah.
They cut him.
He's not top 20 flat or long, but he's third short pass. Most runs. Bring him all the way up to third. Only guys better than him are Kurt Warner and Steve Berline. So, that makes me want to look at Berline's card real fast. Actually, I think Willie has this card, right? So, Willie and that's actually,
Yeah, above average.
expected yards is one thing, but the chances to get 10 yards is another. And Willie's got a good chance to get 10 yards here.
Yeah, that's excellent.
I mean, there's a lot of other spottiness, obviously, but just focusing on the good stuff, it's a pretty good short pass card. So we've got Oakland with Olandis Gary. It seems to me a classic sort of 1999 offense setup here, right? Good offensive line. This is an offense that's capable of putting it together, it seems, and capable of sputtering. Wide receivers, New England. Tell me about those, Michael. You know New England everything.
I don't know. I didn't even look at them, but
Terry Glenn, who's that?
Yeah, Terry Glenn is probably the big guy, and Sean Jefferson was known to go deep also.
Yeah,
the Terry Glenn card is actually not that bad.
That's a nice looking card.
Yeah, that is a nice looking card. 41,
Sean
second
Jefferson
best long.
Is a nice looking card. Spotty and short, but
yeah, right.
And then third guy is going to be Troy Brown.
Right. Got to be possession receiver. Oh,
Yeah.
Actually, that's 16. Yeah, that's actually not a bad group.
Hello, Monk.
It's like I'm always looking for long pass, in my third. Not because I'm going to throw it, just because I want him to draw some double teams away from other guys.
I'm alive.
Right.
I have my mic muted.
Tony Simmons didn't.
Or at least create the fear of maybe I'm not going to get as many double teams because they're going to leave somebody back. Screw it. I don't want to deal with these long pass zero men receiver chances. I'm just going to keep my safety back,
Yeah, you mentioned that about the third wide receiver, and I checked it was Terrence Mathis for my 1990 team. I threw to him 48 times. That's a lot over 16 games if you think about it in this league. Three times a game, that's a lot.
Except Wycheck, who's a good catcher but doesn't go deep.
Right.
But helps with the short pass offense that he, is probably going to have. That's a nice addition, for sure. So pretty solid team, and can the offense consistently get down the field? I mean, it seems like it's a race to 20 points to me. The more I look at this, it's like first to 20 wins this year. Michael, we've been through your squad. Dave goes Dallas quarterback and Cincinnati halfback, and he's got a good. No, he doesn't. He has good average. That's right. We talked about this. Average. That might be tough sledding. Let's see. Let's take a look at Troy's card here. Can't run a lick. Well, hey, just need some rolls. I mean, because there's some completions there.
Yeah, I was talking to some guys looking for QBs in the middle rounds, and Aikman was in the discussion with some of those guys. And I mean, decent card, not crazy picks, I hate to pick on 10, but I mean, I have a QB with pick on 10, so I'm gonna have to deal with that too. But yeah, he's serviceable.
Ranked 12th overall, 16th in the flats, 25th short pass. For some reason. And 15th long. It looked like a better than 25th short pass to me because of that double team 7 across the board, which is not something you find often. Right? Is there a lot of 7s
Yeah,
across the board? I don't
I
think
don't
so.
know. I mean, it's usually um, half of the right. So he's looking at what, 12? So they're giving him the 6. Oh, 13.
13. Yeah.
Yeah, 13. So they're giving him the 6.
So it seems like Dylan is I think a fine back, and he has his flaws, but if you avoid this -6, if you take this -6 off there, it's a great card.
Yeah, he's another guy with an excellent line buck guess right 3.0 average.
Doesn't get keyed yardage, but yeah, I mean, strong guess right. You can go either column with confidence.
Yeah, Dylan 27 carries, and that Bass Knight has 12 carries. He got a decent end run. Wrong card. It's actually it's higher than Dylan's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the plus 46 hanging out there too. Short gain on 7 off tackle. But guessed right, disaster compared to others in the set. And I don't know if he's going to, with all of Dylan's carries, I don't know if it's enough, that end run wrong is enough to pull Dylan out of the game. When you're looking at this and this.
Yeah, I think if you're using Dylan a lot, maybe you'd maybe give him a rest. But yeah, I mean, when he puts that guy in, I doubt you're going to call pass.
Well, maybe what you're saying there is what's going to happen because with Troy Aikman, you're going to have to probably really feed Dylan that ball, right?
Right.
Giants O-line. We talked about average. What's the pass rush situation? Pass rush is 49, third best in the league. So it brings a good pass rush.
Nice.
Yep. Not much in terms of pass block. Dennis's squad. We don't have Dennis, right? Dennis, you're not around here. You're not lurking. So I think we talked to Dennis's squad before, didn't we?
Okay.
So Jeff Blake at quarterback, and yeah, I mean, if you knew you were taking Blake, like he said, he would have probably made some different choices.
Yeah, I know. Blake has a good deep card, I believe.
Yes.
So that's what he's mainly talking about.
Here.
But you know what? His Cincinnati wide receiver is not a bad pair. Meaning, if he can get a run call, he's got one of the best deep receivers in Darnay Scott.
Yes.
He's maxed out deep.
Yeah,
and that was the one thing I did think about taking that card was, I'm giving up the maxed out deep card, taking the Washington team that I had. So I was thinking about that.
I mean, Carl Pickens is pretty good too, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Dennis, he doesn't need any help the way he plays. But I mean, another coach, you'd say, well, he's going to go as far as the Cincinnati QB is going to deliver. You know,
right?
So we'll have to see how Dennis manages this, and he's probably managed with a lot worse QBs than Blake at times.
So it's Scott, Pickens, and then here's Dedrick Ward, who we picked up with the the Jets special teams.
Right.
So that's not bad. He just doesn't have anything at tight end. So, because he went for Levens and the carries there.
Yeah, he did what I did. Right.
So
he's gonna have to go short pass with the tight end only.
Right.
So the Cincy team didn't have a decent third wideout, right?
Correct.
Willie Jackson, no good.
Nobody who beats Dedrick Ward.
Yeah. Willie Jackson has 16 completions.
And there's Jeff Blake. Good must run. I mean, it's a nice short pass right column. especially if you just need 5 or 6. Flat pass, very spotty.
Blake has the best long wrong pass card. It's tied with Brad Johnson's at 0.45 completions.
And hey, hey, I love Fred Taylor. I mean, I think it's a really good card, underrated. I had that group rated as number 1. They penciled out as number 1 to me. This group,
Really?
Yeah.
The Stewart and Fred Taylor card.
Well, really, it's Taylor. Even penalizing for the carries, it's still ended
right.
up as penciling out. I wasn't going to take him at 1. Obviously they weren't even in the discussion for me when I took Curtis Martin.
Yeah, he's 3.7 wrong, right run and 3.5 off tackle right.
Yep.
So yeah, those are the excellent guessed right runner for Taylor.
Yeah, in terms of expected yards, yes. And,
Right.
and as you were saying in the last broadcast, even though it looks like he doesn't have the chances, he has the chances.
Right.
To get a couple tough yards too.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. You call run and it's 7.
Yeah. So Dennis is going defense. He's at good. So without much pass rush. So that means a lot of doubles coming. And pretty good pass block, middle of the pack at 7 out of the 4-3 defense. Yeah, it's going to rest on Jeff Blake and getting guest strong opportunities and taking advantage of them.
Right.
I mean, that's what it comes down to. Can you hit them? We've all been there pounding the table when you get those opportunities and you don't get them.
Yeah, Dennis is not afraid to throw deep. That's for damn sure. He will lead the league in long pass attempts.
So it'll be a barbell-looking tendency chart, running and long passing.
Right.
Ken goes. Oh, there's the Carolina quarterbacks. I thought it was Willie. Willie has Tennessee. Okay, so here's Steve Berline with Indianapolis halfbacks. So let's go look at Edgerrin James because I just wrote him off. Why did I do that? Let's see. I don't remember. I did it so long ago that I don't remember. Very Emmett-like looking card.
Chunky. Yeah.
Yep.
Michael Turner.
Turner, yeah.
Yeah, he's just the guy you're just going to have to keep feeding him.
Yep.
Feed him, and he'll hit the long gains in the 20s and the 27s eventually.
And if anybody needed a line, right, it would be, Edge and Emmett. And Ken ends up with San Francisco, the last offensive line taken. He's second to last, tied for lowest run block, and 13th in pass block. But he brings the most pass rush in good. So Ken has the best defensive team on paper.
Right.
Goes defense gets good, and has the highest pass rush.
Right, that's great.
And it's going to be turning to Steve Berline and this edge card to move the ball down the field. There's Berline. And Bono brings nothing. Nope. So it's going to be up to Stevie Berline this short pass. Flat pass, very spotty.
Yeah, that 7's frustrating. Flat.
INT's not awful at all, especially short. I mean, short pass is a nice column.
Yeah, that is.
8 double team completions. That probably leads the league.
Yeah. I'll have to see Warner, but yeah. I mean, he's got 16 completions, right? So that's, that's 6, 7, 8 is 16.
Good must run. That's, I think, the best 10-yard must run. 2 through 5.
Yeah.
So going to have to be working a short pass, and he's working it to the Buffalo wide receivers.
Eric Moulds.
That's right. And the Cleveland fullbacks. I don't recall them having a good pass catcher. I could be wrong. Let's see here. Tight end starters for Cleveland.
Cleveland. Irv Smith and Mark Campbell. He might have got a running back in this.
Edwards
see.
can go deep. That's nice.
Mark Edwards.
And then some mediocre catching from Irv Smith.
Terry Kirby. Did he end up with him?
0.7 yards, 130 rushes. What does Kirby look like? I mean, if you've got Kirby and you've got Edge,
Yeah, you're right. Edge will get mostly carries. 30 whatever carries. 33 carries before fatigued. That's plenty.
here's Kirby's card.
Yeah, 5.7. End run guessed wrong. 3.0 fumbles. Yeah, maybe you can spot him in there. Kirby was a good receiving back also. He also has a kick return card. I don't know if that's playable.
It's not.
Right.
It's as bad as it gets.
How was his pass? How was his receiving card? Was that any good?
All right. I mean, catches.
Yeah, 11 short. He's probably better short than flat.
78 there is nice.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's a once a season.
61 there.
I know.
Like that.
Right and wrong. I
Yeah.
got that the other day from Mr. Jonathan Taylor. A right flat for 76 yards.
Nice.
I was like, what the heck? You couldn't just get rid of that? Leave it on the wrong?
Well, Ken's going to be in the mix. So that defense, Ken will be in the mix.
Yeah.
Can he get to 20 points?
Very nice team.
Basin goes Jeff Garcia and Tim Biakabatuka after going defense, which yielded him good. No, good average. Huh. Right? Good average. I'm seeing good average there. With an eighth best pass rush. Starts out Buffalo defensive line, goes right back to Buffalo linebackers, then Green Bay DBs, Minnesota O-line, and then we've got Garcia. The Green Bay wide receivers with Garcia and with Biakabatuka. Let's look at Biakabatuka. Biakabatuka is another guy that I just sort of wrote off and never looked at again. I think it's a nice looking card here. Oh, no, not so nice. That's a lot of problems guessed right. Guessed wrong. He's a maniac, but he fumbles. I think the highest fumble of regular backs.
Also, only 138 carries. I think that's 15 on the fatigue. Let me make sure of that. Carolina.
Gets Fred Lane, too. Fred Lane doesn't pretty much guess right either.
Yeah. Biakabatuka's fumbles were 2.1%. Yeah, Biakabatuka's got the big average. 11.6 and run wrong. He's got a 62 somewhere on 11, right?
Yeah, look at that right column, though. Ay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, crap, yeah. I know. It's kind of scary when you end run with a guy like that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you get
the long gains on 2 guessed right. Off tackle as well. I mean,
yeah.
May as well lose the 2 yards instead of losing the 7 yards.
Yeah.
There's some guessed right problems there. Oh.
Yeah, you're right. You're probably better off going off tackle.
Carolina was taken ahead of Oakland. You see, see me. I'm going with Oakland there. Or Baltimore. Tough. And then Garcia. Garcia was kind of a middling guy. Kind of like a poor man's Rich Gannon, as I recall.
Yeah. Was this his first season or
Garcia? Good question.
Yeah, I don't recall.
Well, he broke in over a couple of years, right? CFL guy, and he
right
worked his way into the lineup.
Yeah, he's got an excellent flat pass. You're right.
Yep. Yeah, good flat pass, good short pass, with some decent running, I think. Yep, good.
Yeah,
good
must
running.
run. Looking at 6 average. Yeah.
Shut the screen door from everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of hit or miss there, but you can sort of rely on that flat pass to your point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be facing that team is going to be very interesting because you guess that correctly. You are in a good spot because not only do you get these -2s and -3s everywhere in Biak Patuka, but you also get a much bigger fumble.
Yeah. It's gonna double.
Greg goes these last. He takes Tony Banks and the Baltimore quarterbacks, pairing it with those Minnesota halfbacks we've talked about. Greg is good. Greg does not. Let's see, Greg. 8th and 7th in pass rush and
Buddy,
pass
son.
block. Wide receiver of St. Louis, which brings a lot of goodness with him.
Yeah. Where did St. Louis go in the list of wideouts? I was surprised. I thought they would be one of the top teams. I don't think they were one of the.
They were up there, 3rd.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Oh, well, Oakland's a little misleading because they were grabbed for the cornerback.
I mean, those receivers, it's pretty interesting. I mean, so Minnesota and St. Louis, the reason you take them over Carolina is because you want to get the returner in a 2-for-1.
Right.
Carolina does not come with the returner. But let's take a look. I mean, you get the thing about Hakeem, I think, is that he has the touchdown, but is he the guy with little else? Yeah, I mean, fair catch city and a touchdown on 2.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
So I wasn't thrilled with that card.
That my punt returner has that on Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. TD at 2, and then not much going on.
And there's Holt.
Holt and Bruce, they got to be the best 1-2 combo, right? Yeah, maxed out short.
Maybe with Denver.
And flat.
And you get Hakeem on top of it. I mean, it's nice.
Oh, the Holt card's not as good as the Bruce card by far. Yeah.
That Bruce card is nice. I think it's probably his last great year, right? Before Holt took over.
I don't know. 20. They still were a pretty good team in 2020. I mean, not 2000.
Well, yeah, they were good, but Holt took over eventually
over
Bruce and so overtook him. Bruce still has the advantage here, but obviously it's a great card that Holt has too. Just a lot spottier, but not definitely not spotty. Anybody would take that card. Happy to have it. And they're putting him with Tony Banks, not the Genesis keyboard player, but the passer who has a long pass that's right up there. 5 and 8. Look at that. Like, Lawrence, this is who I thought you'd wait to the 10th round for. Right here. Load up the team and with those 7s and freaking chuck it with Banks.
Yeah, wow. 5 and 8. What's that? 9? 25%. I think only see the QBs. How many have better? Kurt Warner, Brad Johnson. Jeff George is one better. Tony Banks is the next, 250.
Banks is long pass number 1 in the set.
I just can't deal with that no flat pass with him.
Yeah.
Especially
yes.
My flat pass is going to be even more important. If 12 teams are a 4-3, then that's even better for the flat pass.
Yeah, you're right.
Indeed it is. Yep, that's an excellent point. Excellent point. What I was going to say. Yeah, and the fact that Falk doesn't go deep, is a deal for you. I mean, that matters. If Falk goes deep too, and you've got that line, and you built the team around that. That being said, you still take the Indianapolis line there. I mean, you can't pass that up. They were not getting past me. They were not getting past Tyke. I mean, I haven't talked to Tyke about that, but I can almost guarantee he would have grabbed them too. You had to take them there.
Yeah, and I have other people that go deep anyway. Mm-hmm. Both New York Giant receivers are 41%, and Kes Watkins is 50%. Then I have Larry Centers, and so I have other options.
How's Jim Miller? Not Jim Miller. How's the other guy deep? Shane Matthews. Is he any better than Miller? Let's see. No, he's not. A lot worse, as a matter of fact. Miller's 28th. Matthews 54th. Deep ball goes. But yeah, that's a bomb. So Dennis had a shot here too. So Dennis took Blake over Banks. Pretty interesting comparison. Blake,
Yeah, he
definitely
was
ranked higher.
he was looking at Miami quarterbacks with Fiedler.
Yeah.
No, not Fiedler.
On
The
small
other guy,
ball, Heward.
Heward. Yeah. So he kind of narrowed it down to Jeff Blake or Heward in his mind.
You get a slight upgrade in flat pass, or more than slight, from 42nd to 34th in flat pass with Blake versus Banks. Short pass, 17 for Blake, 21 for Banks. And then long pass, number 1 in Banks versus number 5, Jeff Blake. In terms of fumbling, Banks is a fumble machine. Snap fumble of 19. Blake, 10. Neither good, but obviously 19 is a lot worse than 10. Banks does have a 1 team fumble, which is nice. But he also hit must runs because he's got 45 on guess wrong running, 6.3% must run. So Banks got some fumble problems to deal with. And it adds up. I mean, it adds up. It's from an expected yard basis, a good fumble versus a bad fumble is like 150 to 200 yards in a season. And what does that matter? Well, it just matters when it happens, right? I mean, that's that's what it comes down to. When does it occur?
Hey, how do I check to see what Jim Miller's fumble rating is? Like, does it have to be on on a must run or just a line buck or something for him?
No, every
in the
snap.
game? Every snap will show his fumble rating.
Every snap will show his snap fumble of 12. And then
I mean,
when
his other fumble rating.
You should run him on a line buck.
Yeah.
And see if it is indeed 100. Because that one stood out to me. I think when you and I first talked about it, I was like, dude, make sure you check that fumble because I don't know. That sounds really odd to have 100 there. You know.
If it's 100, I'm going to give him a call on XM radio and say, "What the fuck?" Miller?
I mean, we can look.
Yeah, I'm gonna look right now.
Okay,
I'll go in the game and I'll.
Yeah, let's verify that. I would love for that number.
Is there another quarterback you want to know other than Jim Miller?
Let's check Tony Banks too.
Okay, was that Baltimore?
That one seems more accurate because it's 45.3. The reason I don't trust Miller's is 100.00. That just seems suspect to me.
Yeah, 10%.
And all of those are just pure manual entries. I mean, it's ripe for error. So check that while you're going through, and then Greg, good D, and it's not in the 8th pass rush. It's not quite Ken's situation, but who has a better offense, Greg or Ken? Those are our 2 best defenses, if that's true. I'm not certain that's the case. You got Berline and Edgerrin versus Minnesota and Banks. I guess I would take Greg because of those Minnesota halfbacks.
12.3 from Jim Miller.
Guess
Very
wrong.
Glad to hear that.
Okay.
Oh, snap fumble.
Snap fumble. Okay, that's correct. It's 12. Yes, I round them down.
Okay, you were looking for the
line buck. Wrong.
Right, line buck.
Line buck wrong.
I got to punt the ball.
I never got to the point where I was considering Miller, so I never went back in and checked.
It's 100.
It's 100? No shit. Wow.
It's 100 wrong. Let me see what it is right.
So on his must runs, and that's really, I mean, every year I improve this stuff. I gotta do guessed right because that's your must run. That's your true must run fumble.
133.
Okay.
Yikes.
When you put in 133 and keep everybody else at their guess wrong, by the way, he drops from 9th to 11th. Drops 2 spots. Again, unfairly, because nobody else has taken that guessed right hit. All right, guys, that is the league. Who's our champion? I don't get in the prediction business. So, you guys want to get in the prediction business?
Dennis.
Dennis. Well, that's the default answer if there ever was one.
For no reason other than Dennis.
I like the teams I like. I like Aiden's team a lot. You know.
Yeah, it's a very nice team.
These Ken's team is just a very, very strong defensive team. He's got to play a lot of games. 13-10, and he could do it. But in the Battle Royale final, we had the semifinals. We had 2 averages and 2 goods, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was second in defense, total score in defense with average.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the new guys watching the channel and listening to the podcast here, I know the draft. You think you made a mistake? Oh, geez, don't be too concerned about it. It's going to be all about how you play your games more than who we drafted and all that. And that's why I picked Dennis. But yeah, so don't fret. The guys that play the best over the season, you will be rewarded with wins and playoff appearances. So I know the draft. It seems like it's crazy, and everyone knows more than and this and that. We don't know anything. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how the league is going to end up to shape out and what actually helps and doesn't. I've never played 99. Some of the other seasons I had played, so I did have some statistical references and what happened, but it usually doesn't really matter much. It's all, who calls right, their defense right, and they have a great offense calling the right zig when the other guy zags, and
not hitting your interception splits, right? I mean, if you have an interception on 10, just don't roll a 10. How hard is that?
Right. Take one game that you don't roll a 10, right? And you're gonna win.
I mean, for all those interception guys, if you just don't roll the number, you take interceptions out. There's some fantastic quarterbacks in there. Just don't roll the interception number.
Yeah, and if you roll it, make sure it's a deep pass and it's a nice punt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, the other interesting thing though is like with Warner, his quarterback wide receiver fumble rating is a 3. So that's kind of rough. He can't afford to get sacked. So I'm not sure how good the pass blocking is on his offensive line. But when I play Tyke, I'm going to be doing some blitzes. I want to try to sack Warner.
Yeah.
The team fumble 3, is that on a sack? It's 50% chance of fumbling.
It goes up for the sack fumbles. It stays. This is an exact reading for your receiver fumble.
Okay. Oh, it goes up 1, I think, on a sack. But I'm not sure now.
And I mean that's one thing to consider too. As I improve my models and everybody improves their models out there, it's that 3 for Warner. I mean, all things being equal, including pass blocking, Lawrence, to your point. So if you make pass blocking equal, for somebody like me with Johnson, yeah, he has a low fumble, but I'm going to be flat passing more, and your receiver fumbles come up when it goes to a receiver completion, and then whatever it is it an X, whatever it is on the
1 out of 6.
Yep. So they're amplified for flat pass passers.
Right.
So Johnson's 2 is a little bit worse than somebody else's 2.
Right. Say
who might be more short pass oriented, because you're not going to get even close to the same receiver receptions on short and long, obviously, not only because of the 2 hits on 8 and 9, but because of the guessed right hits on 8 and 9, where there's no guessed right hits, obviously, on short and long. Got to adjust for that.
Right.
All right. It's one of the great things about this game. I mean, you can go as deep as you want to go, and you can always go deeper. You can always go deeper. I mean, you can think you have it covered. You can think, that something like this covers all the angles. It doesn't. And it's assumption laden too. I mean, this whole quarterback model assumes that it's 75% guessed right, and then it's 55% flat pass, 30% short, and 15% long. And you change any of those assumptions, these rankings change fast.
Right. Yeah, that's what I did. I plugged my rankings in to one of the other seasons I played. I actually have it broken out: flat pass right, flat pass wrong, SP right and wrong, and long pass right and wrong.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, it's there, right there.
Right. The percentages, I have them broken out. I know I'm going to be in this column, say 50, 20%, this column 40%, this column 10%, that column 5%.
Correct. Your long passes are statistically much higher guessed right, for obvious reasons.
Right.
Short passes too, across a league, right? And here you have, I think this is the point you're making, Michael. It's a broad assumption of 75 guessed right across all passes.
Right.
Or that's not true. Flat pass is guessed wrong more, and short pass is guessed wrong less, and long pass is guessed wrong even less than that. So.
Yeah, it also is play style. Dennis throws a lot, would say, long passes right, because he doesn't really care. Mm-hmm. So, but someone like me, I'm more picking my spots where I'll get more wrongs.
Sure.
But yeah.
And the 15% is on purpose high. Typically across the league, it's not going to be close to that. But the threat of a long pass is important, which is why I bring it up. Because if you have a good long pass, it affects the defense more, which is why I emphasize it more, here, and put it at 15. That's a good, I mean, what's the league average? Probably 7%, 6%, 5% long passes thrown, right? Somewhere in the 5 to 7 range. So this is a pumped up long pass number, but you could, depending on your offense and what you're doing, like, it's just a thing for as you draft in the future, especially for new guys and the guys who've been around to get this stuff. But if you're new, as you build your team, you start to build around a certain pass. I mean, a particular column, and you change it. I would have changed the assumptions around. If I would have been in a position to get a Blake or a Banks, I'd have been looking at this very differently, and the rankings would have changed. So don't take any of these rankings as gospel. That's for sure.
Right.
All right. Anything?
Yeah, we weight them, right? Basically.
Well, I'm curious to see what the stats look like because with everybody guessing right on pass more. I mean, it's going to be interesting. Like you said, you can't. It's going to be a hard league for 3rd and 10, but I mean, even for the other downs, I mean, it's going to be hard to get those completions on short pass.
It is. I think your point about 4-3 defenses is an important one for first downs. There's a good chance we see a lot of small ball on first. Just to get yourself out of a 3rd and 10 situation potentially, right?
It's hard for the double team with a 4-3 as much,
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, I mean, when I have a really good flat passer and I'm playing an opponent before the game, I go in, I look at that D, and I just take a sigh of relief when I see the 4-3. Yep.
Yep.
You just feel so much more confident. You don't have to worry about that 2 in zone pick you're gonna throw, or one of those guys with the 3-4 Ds that really mixes it up.
Yep.
And especially those short yardages where they put 2 guys in 2 of the zones and a 6 in another flat.
Yeah.
And call run. and then you're sitting there stuck. You know, you're going to run it. Your running back's got all no gains, or you're going to throw into a 2-man.
Exactly.
Well, I'm looking forward to getting going on it.
Yeah,
Me too.
can't
Me
wait.
too. Yeah. Hopefully we can get. It's Thursday, so hopefully we can get going in the over the weekend. That first game is always a fun one.
Yeah.
You know, when you see your team all shiny and put together, and you figure stuff out. I mean, to your
Right.
point earlier, Michael. You know, with 2 quarterbacks, you got a lot to figure out. You know,
Yeah, that's for sure.
and that's kind of fun, though, right?
This is the first time I've ever had it.
Hey, Anthony, you should do something unusual. You should like broadcast your own game as you're playing.
I did think about that, actually, Lawrence.
I don't want people to see that side of me, Lawrence.
I know. I don't want to see what I'm looking at.
I want them to hear all the Italian temper come out.
Yeah.
Oh, Dennis is a late ad here. Welcome, Dennis.
What's up?
Perfect timing, as we have just gone through all the teams,
Nice.
and we're sort of just making global comments.
Did you guys go like round by round to see what your favorite picks was, or anything, or maybe just the whole draft? What you said there was like one really strong value pick, Anthony, that you thought was the steal of the draft,
Yeah, I thought it was Gus Farrat.
and that was in what round?
4th round for Aiden.
Nice.
Yeah, and
Michael,
then we had.
did you-
Yeah, I had the Minnesota running backs, but Anthony pointed out the Oakland Raider running backs were an excellent pick. Also, they went after Minnesota, I believe.
Oh, nice.
Yep, that's a great value pick, all the way down in 8.
And of course, your Cincinnati wide receivers also.
Yeah, that's not bad. I liked Lawrence's pick of that Washington tight end fullback blocking back group, because that's an interesting group. I'd just say, in this set, you don't see a lot of 6'7" fullbacks with that kind of skill set. So that'll be fun.
Really do agree. And Lawrence's pick of the Indianapolis O-line was also a good value. It was the last one before the cliff fell. On offensive lines.
How about how good of a job our new guy did? I thought overall. I mean, aside from the one little mix up there,
Dave?
I thought Dave's picks were like solid. Every time he was picking, I was like, oh yeah, that's a good group. Oh, that's a good value. That's a good group. I mean, usually when you come in, you take a little time to find your feet, but I thought Dave did a good job putting his team together, and he caught all the little nuances that takes, what rookie coach is going to do that? Pick a special teams unit with a 6 cornerback in it.
Yeah.
It's actually an alias. It's actually Ed Barrow. And
No, because if it was Ed, he wouldn't have made the mistake. He would have been like checking
True.
everything. So
Maybe it was Mike Payne.
no, he wouldn't have had such a calm attitude when things didn't go. He was very sportsmanlike. Like, I made the mistake, I accept it. Because you guys know I talked about like what were the possible alternatives, so the guy wouldn't get totally screwed. But he'll have the best nickel cornerback in the league, and it's a good opportunity to learn. So,
which is nice.
Yeah.
yeah, Tyke has a 5 nickel, and there's a couple other teams that have 5 nickels. So
Yeah, we were talking about that pretty in depth. I mean, that 6 nickel is really nice to have. I mean, it's
yeah. I remember. I mean, when you're playing in the game, you can do stuff like move your 4 free safety up to the short pass zone and drop the nickel back. So now suddenly you have a 6 free safety.
3 safety, yeah.
Yeah, 6 in the zone. So it's kind of cool.
What else did you see, Dennis, through this draft? I mean, first of all, has any draft taken this long before? I mean, did you have email drafts in the past before I joined that took, a solid week or whatever they may have taken to get done? Or because we finished off real quickly here, which was good. We came back nice in terms of pace.
Yeah, I think that I think this is typical of the way it was initially, where it would take a week, sometimes 8 days. When we lay it out so you do around a day for 10 days, but we never reach that. It's always at least the slowest I've ever seen was maybe 8 or 9 days. So this being 7 days is like kind of like what it used to be when we first started. I think what's helped in the recent times where we've gotten it done in like 4 or 5 days, which is nuts, is people were just really enthusiastic on the edges because just you need that guys to turn it around at night. So you need like the 12 through 17 and 1 through 6 to like always be turning it around. So it's always flying back and forth.
Yep.
So
Yep.
and
When
it's
you wake
hard
up
when
and you see 7 picks made while you're sleeping, and you're like, we're moving.
yeah, exactly. And then and it's harder when people are on different coasts and Lauren's in Hawaii. So we have like a 6-hour time difference, from the earliest to the latest. So I don't know. I thought it went pretty well.
Have you always had 17?
I kind of like 17 now. I tell you why.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I've had 18 in the past. I've had 16 in the past, but there's no cheap way to get in the playoffs. I always feel like when you have 18 teams and 17 games, like a 9 and 8 is not really doesn't feel like a playoff team to me. 9 and 7, okay, you did it. 9 and 8, you have like 8, 9 teams in the playoffs, and I like it with 16, with 17 teams and 16 games. It just makes sense to me. So I toyed with the idea of going to 19 to try that out this year because we had Butch that wanted to get in, and there was another coach that wanted to get in, but it was we'd already filled all the spots. But
So you've never gone to 19?
We've gone 18. We've never gone to 19.
Because 19 would be, it would eliminate that problem, right? You'd have to be 2 games above again.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was toying with the idea of 19. But then
31
we started.
teams.
We got a late start. It's a smaller player pool, and we'd be playing into August. You know what I mean? Before the playoffs started. So
Right.
Yeah,
Hey.
the battle royal. I looked at that. I mean, 2 teams were 8 and 8, so they were knocked out because we only played 16 games in the battle royal.
right.
But there were 4 teams that were 7 and 9.
Yeah.
And we only had 6 playoff teams. It felt like not many teams made the playoffs in battle royal. I don't know if it was me or based on the 17 that we had. I think in 1990, I think 9 teams made the playoffs or something.
Yeah, it all depends on how those 8 and 8, 7 and 9, 9 and 7 teams come out. If they get a little bit better luck, those all those 7 and 9 teams could have been 9 and 7, and then some of the one of them maybe falls down to 3 and 13. Just you have to have that kind of luck. When it comes to those 500 teams, the teams can go either way.
Yeah, you're right. There were 9 teams that made the playoffs in 1990. There were 4 9-win teams, and there were 5 8 and 9 teams. So wow, that was those 9 teams were 1 game in or out.
Yeah, I don't know. I just I like the 17 team dynamic. It makes sense.
1990 summer. So this is the last year's summer sprint. You had all those 9 and 8s. 1, 2, 3, 4 9 and 8 teams get in.
Yeah, and then 5 8 and 9 teams.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I thought one thing that's interesting about the set in general was the lack of tight ends that can go deep. Really strange. I haven't seen a season card like this that I remember. Where so but then again, I guess usually in other seasons I'm doing draft leagues or. I guess it hasn't been.
Look at that.
I guess it wasn't until what we weren't doing draft leagues in '99, were we? I don't think.
No, I don't believe so.
No.
I think we started playing in 2004.
Computer game was what, 01?
Yeah, 2001. So, but I didn't start until like 2004, 2005.
Right, me too.
So, yeah, so that's ever since then. They've been like a pretty decent number of tight ends that can go deep, and even some fullbacks. This is just a really stingy set.
113 was the average draft position of tight ends, which was Very, very low. I mean, special teams is 120. Kickers are 128.
Right. Because they were so similar. They were all a bunch of
Yeah.
junk. Or they'd have one strong point, like the running backs with Allstott and Levens, but the tight ends were terrible. Or they had two good tight ends like New Orleans, but
no
the running
blocking,
backs,
no running.
no blocking and no fullback kind of thing.
Halfbacks, let's see. Halfbacks led the offense at 62, which is not a very high number. Quarterback 67. The number one group was linebackers, 52.
I haven't looked at it. Have you? How many good goods? How many good average? How many average?
Yeah, we have it here.
9 and 8.
So you see, 9 good run. Yeah, 9 and 8. 9 and 8. 9 run, 8 pass. And you see the good goods here. We got how many good goods? 1, 2, 4, 5, 6.
Hey,
good
Dennis,
goods.
do you remember a time with so many 4-3s? 12 out of 17 teams having 4-3.
No, that's again a product of the set.
Yeah, it is a
And
product.
there were so many linebacker groups that were 7 points or above in a 4-3 that made it like the direction to go.
Look at this nose tackle column. I mean, there's not much there. I mean, there's
Not any good.
nothing. I mean, you
No
got
5s,
1 6.
Oh no, there was 1 5.
5.
no
very,
6s.
very little S. 1 6.
Yeah. When Michael, when you were like debating about which D line to take and where they go at 3-4, but they were both 4s. I mean, look about it. Everybody's 4s. All the nose tackles are 4s
Right.
if they got them at all. I mean, you had a couple of 6 defensive tackles that could play as nose tackle. That's the
Yeah,
other thing.
Seattle D, I think, had one of them.
Yeah. It's like you have right there, that column, the defensive left tackle, defensive right tackle. If there are 6 in there, that means there are 5 nose tackle.
Right.
But even that, there was 2, something like that.
Yeah, not many that were drafted in
It's
there.
like Tampa Bay, Seattle,
Oh, does Oakland have one?
San Diego.
Yeah, so it's just going to be fun. I mean, every time I do this, I pick a set without really knowing a lot about it because I don't want to be like, I don't want there to be a reason why I'm picking the set. Like I have some advantage because I know the tricks and the ins and outs. I learned a lot about this set, and I bet you if this season was done today, the set would look totally different with the exact same statistics. Just I think they've fine-tuned their methods of assigning ratings and cards, and I think it's improved for the better myself.
Oh, for sure. I mean, just the split of the linebackers.
Yeah.
For starters, right?
Yeah,
And-
there you go. That's true too. But a flawed set is a fun set. That's what I say.
True. All right, gents. Any other comments?
Yeah, is there any team
great.
was there any great team that stood out from you guys' opinion?
Oh yeah, I already told them who I thought was going to win. I got the gold medal already ready to go.
Who was that?
Dennis, you've been crowned the champion.
Oh,
I
please.
said Dennis Crowley, first place,
Please.
without a doubt. Over under 1.5.
Let me get the league file out so you guys can run some sims, and then you'll be like, yeah, over 1.5 wins.
Sims are nothing.
Yeah, true.
And I think we've gone like in total, we're nearing 4 hours. So this is like Tom level
Nice.
preview.
This is-
For total
that's
time.
that's where the phrase.
Except Tom would do 4 hours solo.
Yeah, that's where the
How's
phrase.
Tom doing?
He's doing Dungeons and Dragons and different things. He still plays, but he's not into it as into strategy as usual. He's doing a lot of writing. He's written a novel and some short stories, so trying to get those published. So good on him.
So if I had to pick 2 leagues to be in, it would be these 2. I mean, I just love the way that this draft is just so much fun.
I have a spoiler, a little surprise announcement maybe for those who stuck around for the full 4 hours. I am considering doing another version of Battle Royale in the fall using the modern rules as a beta test to see how this format would play, but with the modern rules on. So dump off white die 6, maybe a smaller size. Maybe we do half a league or something, but there'll be something coming for those who are interested. And I got to come up with a cool name for it. So
How about Dennis Crowley's Fantasy Football League?
that's not cool. It's not even. It doesn't even sound. It doesn't roll off the tongue.
Dennis's
I'm definitely
World.
in. I'm in.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The fall
Look forward to
follies. We'll figure it out. All right, guys.
Because these are. I mean, they're so much fun. These battle royale and summer sprint. So adding another one so that you have one literally year round. That's awesome.
Yeah, and the best part is that if you screw up, just try again a different strategy next time.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, guys.
All right, everybody. Thank
All
you
right,
very
see ya.
much.
Thank you.
Appreciate the
Great.
endurance, and we will see you, Dennis. When are we going to get the pre's?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow I should have a lead file out for you to build a coach file. Pre's won't come probably till Sunday or Monday, maybe Saturday if we get it turned around quick enough. What is today? Wednesday?
Yeah.
We could be playing by Saturday.
Nice.
Sweet.
Okay.
That's what we want to hear. That's what we want to
All right,
hear.
guys.
A little weekend ball.
All right,
Thanks,
bye.
everybody. Appreciate it.
Great. Bye.
All right, we are wrapped up on the summer sprint draft preview. We'll see you in the regular season, everybody.
Big opening for Tony Dorsett. Look out, he's got great speed. 99 yards and a half. Dorsett down the sideline. Stays in bounds. Can you believe that?